Y'all know it's a world stage, man. Every day we could learn something. Now, Dane had talked about this Madrado and Trump situation, even though this happened a few days ago, right? It's good to read these codes on a world stage because I feel like they're trying to push some type of infighting amongst the people, the civilians. We know it's infighting amongst the elites, but it's gonna be infighting. They want to push a civil WAR to keep it guideline friendly.
Mr. President, it has been reported that Maduro offered everything in his country, all the natural resources. He even recorded a message to you in English recently, offering mediation. What should we do in order to stop that?
He has offered everything. He's offered everything. You're right. You know why? Because he doesn't want to fuck around with the United States. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Said he took a deal.
Let's start here. If you were to ask some people, historians, lawyers, diplomats, what is not supposed to happen in the modern world,
My bad, y'all.
condemned, not I.
It should be good now, but they said bruh threw up the thumbs up when they went and grabbed him. It's all a world stage, man. Let's get a clear video for y'all. I pay for premium, ain't no ads, so.
Isolated, captured. That word alone breaks expectations because it challenges the idea that the global system still runs on rules instead of power. And yet, here we are. So before we talk about whether this was justified, before we talk about legality, before we talk about morality, we have to answer a simpler, more dangerous question. How did the world arrive at a point where this was even possible?
Right.
For most of the 20th century, the relationship between the United States and Venezuela was not dramatic. It was not ideological. It was not emotional. It was not confrontational. It was transactional. Venezuela possessed enormous oil reserves. The United States needed energy stability. That relationship produced predictability. The U.S. did not aggressively interfere in Venezuela's internal politics.
Right.
Venezuela remained economically integrated into the Western system. There were disagreements, but not hostility. And that matters because it tells us something very important. This conflict was not inevitable. Everything changed in 1999. That was the year when Hugo Chavez became president of Venezuela. Chavez did not quietly assume power. He did not reassure Western institutions. He did not maintain diplomatic ambiguity. He openly rejected U.S. influence. He framed Venezuela as a nation that has been exploited. He positioned sovereignty as resistance. He described American power as imperialism.
Yeah, he like, yo, bro, y'all done took that money from them. That shit ran out. Let it run out. We don't have to let them back in. And America, like, we'll give you a loan. Well, if you don't want to take our loan, we're coming anyway. And this is the thing about it, right? The invaders write the invisible lines and say North America, South America. Like, all of this was done by invaders, man. No different than the Spanish conquistadors. No different than the U.S. Britain Army, the Dutch, whoever came over here and tried to write these invisible lines on the land, bro. And I'm not saying when we was in tribes that it wasn't we wasn't divided by cities and states or divided by the lines, but yo, man, like, these folks, it's crazy, bro. Like, it's a crazy time we in. The world changing.
This was not just a speech. This was policy. Oil policy was restructured. Military cooperation with the United States declined. Foreign alliances shifted away from Washington. From the U.S. perspective, Chavez was destabilizing. From Venezuela's perspective, Chavez was reclaiming control. Both sides believed they were reacting defensively. That misunderstanding would never be resolved. In April 2002, Hugo Chavez was briefly removed from power during a coup attempt. Within days, he he returned. The Venezuelan government accused the United States of supporting the coup. The
Funding them. See, that's what they do too.
United States denied.
That's what they do too. They'll fund a group. It's no different than the whole Israel situation or the Somalian situation, the scandal with Somalians, and how they funding or they using that money to launder other shit. So they take money from America and flip it and use it on other shit. It's crazy. But then it's like, if you think your government ain't like, this shit is all a world stage. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, all of these things have to be gold. They have to be green lighted. So it's not like they're surprised it's happening. They can see it happening. It's a system, you know. It's just some people that's in power, like let's just say a Trump or Maduro or these presidents and things like that. Maybe they do know or they don't, but until they get in that position of power, they realize like, oh shit, it's somebody above me. Oh shit, it's somebody above me. Oh shit, it's somebody above me. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes shit, niggas go rogue. And that's why I be infighting and stuff.
Direct involvement. But the long-term effect had nothing to do with proof. It had nothing to do with belief. From that movement forward, Venezuela's leadership operated under one assumption: the United States was willing to remove them. Once that belief takes hold, trust does not recover. Every protest becomes suspicious. Every criticism feels coordinated. Every sanction feels preparatory. This is how paranoia becomes policy. From 2002 onward, the relationship hardened. Venezuela moved closer to non-US allies. The United States became increasingly critical of Venezuela's governance. When Hugo Chavez died in 2013, Nicolas Maduro inherited not just power, but unresolved conflict.
Right.
The economy was already fragile. Political polarization was already extreme. International trust was already broken. Maduro did not create this environment, but he governed inside of it. Under Maduro, protests intensified. The government responded with force. The United States accused Venezuela of human rights abuses. Venezuela accused the United States of economic sabotage. Two narratives formed. In one narrative, Maduro was an authoritarian clinging to power. In the other, Maduro was resisting foreign destabilization. These narratives did not compete.
What's crazy, bro? They got the same thing with Trump. Like, all of these leaders, shit, it's not even with Trump. You could say this about anything. A black leader. On one end, they're a black extremist, COINTELPRO agent who done did this dirty shit, or this person that's really an ain't shit person, a nasty person. And on the other end, they're getting took down by the government, and they got took down for trying to speak the truth. Trump is this person that's going to help wake America up and make America great again. On the other part, he's serving the other hand. And you know what I'm saying? Like, stop being attached to these damn leaders. Once you let us a world stage, you're going to realize, like, Trump might not even exist. He might just be a figment of your imagination.
They hardened separately, and then the United States formalized pressure. This is where it gets deeper. In 2015, the United States issued an executive order declaring Venezuela a national security concern. This was not symbolic. It created legal authority for sanctions. Sanctions that restricted banking access, froze assets, and pressured international partners, and reduced economic oxygen. From the United States' perspective, this was accountability. From Venezuela's perspective, this was economic warfare. Regardless of interpretation, the result was clear. Economic suffering deepened, political positions hardened, and diplomatic solutions narrowed. January 2019 marked a decisive shift. The United States declared that Juan Guaido, not Nicolas Maduro, was the legitimate president of Venezuela. This was not rhetoric, this was legal repositioning. From that moment, Maduro was no longer recognized as the head of state by the US. his authority was rejected and his protections were weakened. This decision matters more than any sanction because legitimacy is the foundation of sovereignty. Once legitimacy is removed, everything else becomes negotiable. In March 2020, the U.S. Department of Justice.
Narco-terrorism conspiracy. Oh, they booked them to use and carry machine guns, destructive devices, and furtherance of a crime. Then I heard China was. I wonder if you're gonna talk about China.
Unsealed indictments. They accused Nicolas Maduro and others of narco-terrorism, drug trafficking, weapons offenses, and coordination with armed groups. This was unprecedented. A sitting president was no longer just isolated, he was criminally charged. The United States placed a monetary reward on information leading to his arrest. That reward eventually reached $50 million. From this point forward, the U.S. position was clear. Maduro was not a leader. He was a fugitive.
They put 50 million
This
on his
is
head?
where the critics entered the record. Legal scholars argue that the heads of state possesses sovereign immunity, and indictments do not override sovereignty.
America
and
is a very rich land. You know, they be like, oh, Africa, the motherland, and all this. Yeah, that's a motherland. They call Russia the motherland too. Listen, bro, the earth is abundant, and they had us thinking like, well, over here is this and over here is that. Yeah, or the whole earth is just full of resources, and these entities can't control themselves, bro. The earth got enough for everybody. How much are each one of these barrels? How much oil is in each one of these barrels? In billion barrels. 2024. So that's what I'm saying, man. Like, you gotta think about this, bro. There's enough resources on earth for everybody, but somebody is gonna buy all. Okay, so if we in America, or if we in the world, and let's just say the commodity is Air Force Ones, you walk into the store, there's 300 people, there's 300 Air Force Ones. The USA is in the front of the line, right? Or the government's in front of the line. They're gonna buy fuck that. They're gonna buy 300 Air Force Ones and then hold all of them in a vault. And and then 100x, no, they're not even gonna make, they're gonna make 250 of them unavailable to buy. And then they're gonna 10x the last 50 Air Force Ones. So now you have to sell these 50 Air Force One at a 10x price. And it costs people to lose their fucking mind. The whole time they got 250 that'll just calm everything down if they just release like shit like this. I'll be like, why don't they just drop money in our bank account? Like, why don't they just give us thousands and 2,000? You know, they'd be like UBI and all that. But it shouldn't take away from what you do for work and your job. Like, why don't they just drop extra income on us? Well, our tax dollars and our this and that and the government. Like, bro, you niggas are bots. They print this money up. They making this shit hard to drain your energy. Facts. That's the only way it makes sense. Because even as like the more money you make, you start making money, you be like, bro, why aren't they helping people to make money? Then when you finally figure out, you be like, man, this shit ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a goofy world, bro. It's a goofy
military
goofy ass measure.
Captive violates international norms. And also, no United Nations authorization was granted, and no declaration of war was issued. Their concern was not the defense of Maduro. Their concern was precedent. If one nation can seize another nation's leader under criminal framing, the global system changes. This is a warning. The United States rejected that framing. Its position was simple. They said, we do not recognize Maduro as president. Sovereign immunity does not apply. Criminal conspiracies are prosecutable, and that this was a law enforcement operation. In other words, you cannot claim protection from a title we do not acknowledge. This logic reframes the act entirely. Now, whether the world accepts that logic is still unresolved. On January 3rd, 2026, U.S. forces captured Nicolas Maduro and transferred him to U.S. custody. There was no ambiguity. This was not symbolic. This was not rhetoric. This was execution of a long-standing position.
Right.
To many, it felt sudden,
Yeah.
but it was not.
It wasn't.
It felt sudden because the public saw the endpoint without the pathway. Years of sanctions, delegitimization, indictments, rewards, and diplomatic breakdown were compressed into a single headline.
Right.
History rarely announces itself clearly. It accumulates quietly. This moment forces an uncomfortable question. Where
So they
does
already fell out 2013, basically. No, not my bad. They already fell out since 99 when bro was talking about we need to break off from America, this and that. So when bro died, they couldn't run that rhetoric no more. And Maduro, that really sounded like a Call of Duty name. But on Call of Duty Ghost, the whole game they was talking about it was extracting a Venezuelan president. And I'm saying it like Call of Duty Ghost, like I didn't play that religiously. You know what I'm saying? But I don't remember the campaign because I was so young. I was playing it, but I didn't conceptualize it. Like that campaign, I wasn't really that geeked off. I still remember Black Ops 2 campaigns, the Black Ops 1 we was in the woods and literally woods in the woods, you know what I'm saying? Woods and shit, and Alex Mason and them. I remember that shit in the MK Ultra. Oh, that shit I with the Venezuelan thing, I didn't even think about Ghost. I didn't even know that shit was in Venezuela. I just remember that game was raw as hell, and you could go like the online nigga could actually get 60 kills. Any Call of Duty we get 60 kills and shit like that. I love them Call of Duties, you know. What's different nowadays, but nigga, I come from the days on Call of Duty where you have to earn 20, 30 kills. Like if you get 30 kills, it's a good game. Nigga. But once Black Ops 3 and that's when I started getting 60 kill games and shit. That's when I started getting like when Black Ops 3, Call of Duty Ghosts and all that came out, that's when I started getting 40, 50 kills a minimum every game. Like I'm doing my thing, you know what I'm saying? I started to hit my groove on them games. Cause I was a noob on MW2 and MW3, Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare. Like I was a noob when all them games was out. I'm showing my age and my lingo, but I'm young. I'm young to the old niggas and I'm old to the young niggas.
law end and power begin?
I think we have to really ask ourselves what is truly the motivation behind why the U.S. is invading Venezuela, because frankly that has been muddled.
Raquel Aldana, an expert in immigration law, says the strikes come after months of building tension in the region, with President Trump promoting the ouster as a way to stem the flow of drugs into the U.S.
It was a force against a heavily fortified military fortress in the heart of Caracas to bring outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro to justice,
while also giving the U.S. a greater stake in the country and control of its oil.
We're going to take back the oil that, frankly, we should have taken back a long time ago. We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition.
Either of those two examples, even if we take them at face value, are not valid reasons to invade a country.
This story topping international headlines tonight, from Cuba to Miami to here in Atlanta, even the nation's capital. Demonstrators are rallying across the Americas in response to this attack. Some are celebrating the capture of President Maduro, while others are protesting, chanting "No war on Venezuela."
This is a government making a decision that could plunge an entire region into war without any sort of approval from Congress. There's no representation occurring on our government right now.
So what I want to see happen is the end of the sanctions regime against Venezuela. No more bombing campaigns. The president needs to be returned immediately because, again, it's sick and sadistic to steal the president of another country.
Mayor Karen Bass saying in a statement, quote, "The administration's reckless decision to strike Venezuela to remove Nicolas Maduro risks chaos, violence, and entrenching the United States in a conflict the..."
All them chaos agents and plants. I guarantee the nigga that they interview he worked for them. Cause you know him saying that's gonna get the people like, ew, that's sick. They're sick. Let's go outside. And they sing their revolution song, and then the government come get y'all some shit, and y'all go back in the fucking house. Like I seen this video of all the Iran They all stormed the Capitol. I'm like, Iran, we need to stand up. I'm from Iran at heart. I'm from here at heart. Iran, we stand up to the people. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. If everybody in America was like, fuck that job, boy. Fuck that shit, boy. And we just like all went outside and walked. That should be lit though. I can't cap. Shout out Iran. She was like, but when I see shit like, I'm from Iran at heart, shut your dumb ass up, man. So, but I understand why it's important to learn this shit, because if you be like, man, that shit don't matter. If they doing it to you, if they doing it around you, or when it's happening to you, you ain't gonna know what's happening. So it's good to know what, but if all that like emotionally tied, I'm not emotionally tied to shit. I learned this information so I could use my pieces more correctly. Like us realizing this, we realized like what we could take from this video is that we're on a world stage. Look at all this shit as signs of times changing. And for my real like beings that's tapped in out here, I want you to look at these situations and then see how people react to it. Like see how like connected people are to certain shit. It'll make you be like, damn. Like me, I'm detached from a lot of shit, you know? And that doesn't make us better or nothing like that. But there's people that really care about this shit like deeply in their heart. Like I don't care. Like I'm from Oakland, right? If they bombed up, they have Oakland. They have bombed Oakland. I don't care what nobody says. It's not the same. But it's not deep in my. I'm not that deeply attached to that shit to where I wouldn't leave, or I wouldn't want to start over. I'm not holding a Oakland Raiders jersey everywhere I go. Like it's not that deep for me. I would rock one, but it's not like I gotta represent and I'm gonna go back to the hood and die in my hood if I don't help them. Like nah, you know what I'm saying? But then the reason why I came to this conclusion, because you can't. The masses ain't never did shit but die, like we all do. But you can't save nobody, and it's no groups. So for everybody that want to run for politics and save the world, bro, save your fucking self and catch a glitch.